Welcome back, everyone. We are tracking some breaking news out of Northeast Portland. Homicide detectives are working a scene in Rocky Butte Park where a man is dead after a reported shooting. Officers responded to the park just before 4 o'clock this morning. They had a person in custody, but detectives have not determined if he was involved with this case. Now, right now, Northeast Rocky Butte Road is closed at both park entrances, but officers will escort residents to and from their homes if needed. Good morning, and thanks for joining us. I'm Libby Dowsett. Our other big story this morning is the forecast and a potentially dangerous heat wave. Let's check in with Corey Johnson right now for more on that. Corey.
That's exactly right, Libby. Dangerous heat on the way for our Sunday and our Monday. That's why we have a weather impact alert in place for those days. And you'll want to make sure you're taking care of yourself, specifically on June 14th and 15th. Make sure to limit heat exposure and hydrate. We do have an extreme heat warning for the Portland metro area that's going to go into effect Sunday morning. And we'll talk more about that in your full forecast. But taking care of our Saturday, our Rose City camera, lots of sky out there, not much in the way of cloud cover and already sitting in the 60s early on. This is our temperature map. Low 60s for many of us, 62 in Tigard, 63 out in Sherwood, 65 in Scappoose, looks like 58 in Battleground, so rapidly getting warmer across many stretches. Our Astoria column camera, looks like we may have a little bug friend out there on our camera this morning, but also seeing some low-hanging marine clouds mixed in with some fog. We'll see that off the coast, and then things will start to clear up along the coast. For the rest of us, though, we're going to see sunshine all day long. This is what we have to look forward to as I roll Futurecast. Notice it's going to be a shining day, and we're going to really enjoy it. Visit Seaside Camera, another gorgeous look. Looks like a lot of people already out on the coast this morning. Now this afternoon, we're going to reach upper 80s in some spots in Southwest Washington, low 90s in others like Portland, but we'll break down more of the extreme temperatures coming in just a minute.
Thank you, Corey. And with this, the first big heat wave of the season, it could be harder on all of us. That's according to Oregon's Emergency Management Department. They remind all of us the signs of heat exhaustion include heavy sweating, dizziness, and nausea. The more serious heat stroke is signaled by confusion, high body temperature, and dry or damp skin. To prevent it, experts say it's key to stay hydrated. Don't wait till you're thirsty. Limit outdoor activities during the hottest part of the day. And if you don't have access to AC, cooling centers will be open around the area. You can find locations by calling 211 or go to 211info.org. Portland Street Response will be working this weekend to keep those who are homeless safe in the heat. They'll be traveling around in these cooling cars stocked with water, cooling towels, misters, and ice. The goal is to proactively connect with people who may struggle with these extremes.
They don't have to go out and get these resources. We bring these resources right to them because they may not know where to get those resources. So we also provide information on the cooling stations in the area, and if necessary, we can help transport them to those cooling stations.
Portland Street Response says it will still respond to its usual calls during the heat wave. Stay with KGW for continuing coverage of our weather impact alert, however long the heat lasts. Remember, you can get updated forecasts anytime on KGW.com and the KGW app. We are tracking a developing story in Washington County. Investigators are trying to determine what caused an experimental aircraft to go down Friday afternoon. Investigators say the pilot was killed and was the only one on board. The Lance Air 235 single-engine two-seater went down in a field after having some sort of trouble on takeoff from Twin Oaks Air Park. It caught fire with witnesses calling 911, worried the flames would spread in the grass.
We have people attempting to approach the plane to help, but don't think they're going to be able to get to it due to the fire. They're advising it's in breezy conditions with black smoke going up.
Firefighters were able to douse the flames before they spread. The NTSB is now trying to figure out what went wrong. In Battleground, we're learning more about last weekend's double stabbing. It turns out the man arrested was the victim's adopted son. That, according to the Clark County Sheriff's Office. Police say 39-year-old Stephen Williams stabbed his parents last Friday at a home west of State Route 503. 65-year-old Ray Williams was pronounced dead at the scene. At last check, Stephen Williams' mother was in the hospital with serious injuries. A Southeast Portland property owner was hoping to build his dream home. Instead, he's dealing with a massive headache that's in the form of tens of thousands of tires. We are talking stacks and stacks of them. Catherine Cook looks at what appears to be a growing problem across the Portland metro area.
That's 1.2 acres of tires.
Contran says none of these tires, some 75,000 of them, are his. He says they were just dumped here over the last 2 months.
Then you start going through all the way in the back.
Tran bought this property off Southeast 174th and Powell in April. Back then, he says around 50 tires were here, a mess he told the seller he'd clean up.
I didn't know it became like an ocean of tires.
Tran discovered this ocean of tires last week when he returned with a contractor ready to build his dream home. A dream now postponed.
I'm not giving up. No way. No way. No way I'm giving up because this is my home. Southeast Portland, you know, it's my home.
It's sad.
Sarah Robertson.
That's a beautiful property. Was.
And her husband Jim live next door.
I couldn't believe it.
Jim says things got really bad in May.
I saw U-Haul trucks and I saw a cube van come and just drop them off. Trucks and trucks and trucks. A couple of days sometimes.
Jim says he called the sheriff's office but was told they couldn't help since the problem was on private property. Since then, Tran says both the sheriff's office and Metro have stepped up. Both agencies telling KGW they're investigating the illegal dump.
That's why I'm not afraid anymore. That's why I think that we can do this together.
A spokesperson for Metro says while their RID patrol doesn't clean up messes on private property like Tran's, illegal tire dumps are a growing problem. Since January, Metro says they've cleaned up 14,000 tires dumped on public property all across Portland at taxpayers' expense.
This person that's doing this has to be found and deeply fined.
As Tran waits for justice, he feels more like part of the solution than a victim.
The more I think about this, the more I say I might be the right guy to take on this challenge, you know.
And on top of this, Tran and his wife are expecting a baby this month. They set up a GoFundMe to help with the cost of removing those tires, hoping for some legal recourse if investigators uncover what's going on.